The News 4 Rundown starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the News 4 Rundown. I'm Un Yang. It's Monday, June 8th. Here's a look at some of the stories we're following for you tonight. Coming up, a YouTube star opens up about her rare disease, how she's teaming up with a local doctor to spread awareness to her millions of followers while showing others fighting it they're not alone. Plus, I sit down with a psychiatrist to talk about teens and their social media use and how it impacts their mental health. Then it is one of the busiest stretches of road in our area, and it just became better with a major facelift, the construction that just wrapped up on the GW Parkway, and how it could improve your commute. But first tonight, we are just days away from early voting in Maryland in a major primary election, which opens seats from county offices to Annapolis and all the way up to Congress. News 4's Tracy Wilkins sat down with a group of Prince George's County voters to find out what matters most to them in this upcoming election.
So I just want to start with a general question for everyone. On a scale of 1 to 5, where would you rank Prince George's County right now? Just give me your number. And with 5 being great, 1 being we need some serious improvement, Levon.
2.
Wow, a 2. Okay. All right, and where would you rank it, Taylor?
I would say 3, right around where Levon is.
Okay, great.
2 or 3. I think the county has so much promise and so much potential that's not being realized.
Okay,
for a number of
Chloe?
reasons.
I was also going to say 3.
Wow. Okay, so everybody is mid to low with where you feel the county is right now. I want to understand why. Why, Levon, why are you saying it's about a 2 right now?
I'm very concerned about the chaotic way our government is being operated. We have lost the division between the executive branch and the legislative branch. They have muddied the waters in policy and how funding is done.
Taylor, why are you giving it a 3?
I'm giving it a 3 because I feel that there are so many, like Greg said, opportunities, especially in leadership, to change how things are being done and make it a more positive county for all Prince Georgians and not just the select few. And I also think that it's important for us to look at how who we're electing is operating and how they're moving and like what their motives are and what they're doing. So like, you know, with the county executive being there, it's important to look at what that county executive is actually doing, not just what they're saying.
Chloe, I want to ask you.
Not seeing enough being done hands-on in the county, like Taylor was saying. Everyone can be saying what they're going to do, give a general statement about what they believe in, education, land use, beautification, but not actually seeing that work either be completed or even see it touch the members of Prince George's County.
It is pretty shocking to hear that when you are asked to rank the county, you're doing it either a 3 or 2, like it's a midpoint or lower, that you all are not happy with the direction of the county and what direction it's heading right now. So I want to ask, what is motivating you to go to the polls? What is it that you're voting for?
I'm voting for people who are not just saying the same things over and over again. A lot of the candidates have the same motivations and same initiatives and issues that they want to hone in on, but no one is particularly standing out.
Greg, what is it that is sending you to the polls? What is it you're looking for?
If you don't participate, you get the leadership you deserve. And I have high hopes for Prince George's County, but that only works with you go to the polls, and then win or lose, your candidate wins or lose, you stay engaged. Staying home is not a protest, it's a capitulation.
Early voting in Maryland begins Thursday, June 11th through the 18th. The primary is June 23rd. We will have more from this panel discussion all week. Tomorrow, we discuss the state of the county's economy and where they stand on the instability of federal work and its impact on county residents. Early voting in Maryland begins this Thursday, June 11th, as we were mentioning. In-person early voting started today in the district's primary election. The mayor's race is getting the most attention, but it's also the first time D.C. is using ranked choice voting, meaning you can rank up to 5 choices in some races. For more context and a how-to, we turn to News 4's Ted Oberg and Mark Seagraves.
What's the most important thing to do?
Well,
to pick your first candidate, to pick your top choice, right? And if that's all you want to do and just have one vote, then do that and you'll be good, and you don't have to rank the rest of them.
And your vote will count. You haven't done anything wrong.
So far, you haven't done anything wrong.
For the sake of discussion, we've put 5 of what the News 4 team here believes to be the best guitarists that ever lived, and we are going to have a ranked choice ballot with them.
Send your cards and letters to Ted Oberg about this. Yeah. But so for your greatest guitarist, right? So my first pick, as everybody's first pick in DC should be, is our hometown hero, Nils Lofgren, who's touring with Bruce Springsteen. So that would be my first choice. My second choice, is obviously Jimi Hendrix, right? Probably a lot of people's first choice. So there's my second choice there. Then I'm going to go with Prince just because of his guitar solo on While My Guitar Gently Weeps that everybody has seen. And then for my fourth choice, I'm going to go with Stevie Ray Vaughan because he does have a little bit of a connection to DC, and I never really liked Led Zeppelin. So,
all right.
So here are my, ranked choice voting for best guitarists.
Okay, don't argue with his choices, but just take a good look at Mark's ballot. There's one choice in every column, one in each row. Yours might have been different, but you can't have 2 first choices or rank any one candidate twice. That would invalidate your vote in that race, but not your entire ballot. Let's say not everyone agreed that Nils Lofgren is the best guitarist who ever played. What happens with your ballot then?
If somebody gets 50% or more of the vote,
we're done.
Game over. They do no tabulations. Ranked choice voting doesn't come into play. If, for instance, Nils was nobody got 50%, and say whoever got the least amount of votes, right, amongst all of the candidates, that candidate would be taken out of the first round of tabulation. And if you voted for that candidate, your second choice would be then added in to the counting.
And so we keep going with this until someone gets 50% of the vote plus 1 vote.
That's right. So you would keep eliminating in the next round of tabulation. If nobody has 50%, then they take out your first and second choice. Your third choice is then added, and so on and so forth, until we get, as you said, to somebody who gets 50%.
And there is much more to that conversation, including 2 candidates in the same race who endorsed each other. It is a ranked choice voting tactic. You can see the full conversation on NBC Washington's YouTube page. Now to some of the other top stories we're following for you tonight. We are waiting to learn more about an electrical explosion at the Medical Center Metro Station in Bethesda. The incident happened around 7:45 this morning, briefly halting train traffic. Montgomery County fire officials say there were several workers below ground. 3 were hurt. We're waiting for an update now from Metro and fire officials on their conditions. D.C. Council Chair Phil Mendelson released a revised version of the D.C. budget today. Back in April, Mayor Bowser proposed a budget that would slash funding for child care workers, firefighter pay raises, rec centers, and crime victim services. This new budget, because of newly released funds from the city's chief financial officer, would restore those cuts and partially restore funding for universal paid leave. We have not heard from the mayor's response to the proposal. The council will take a first vote on it tomorrow. President Trump's name is slowly being removed from documents and digital channels for the Kennedy Center. The front page of the Kennedy Center's website has returned to the old logo to the header of the page. Last month, a federal judge ruled that all instances of the president's name have to be removed by Friday. The president's name still remains on the physical building tonight. If you're walking anywhere near the National Mall this week, expect a longer walk. There are a lot of areas blocked off. Crews are preparing for the Great American State Fair. It begins on June 25th and runs for more than 2 weeks. It will stretch from the Capitol to the Washington Monument and include carnival rides and show off what makes each state and territory unique. With so much road construction happening around here, it's time we celebrate when the work actually finishes up. And that is what happened today along northbound George Washington Parkway in Northern Virginia. A project to fix the road that started 4 years ago is finally finished. News 4 transportation reporter Adam Tuss has details.
A ceremony fit for a Revolutionary War reenactment. complete with George Washington himself.
General Washington, how do you feel about, your road being redone?
Well, it's not recognizable to me these days. When I knew it, it was a bit of a dirt trail.
Well, a dirt trail no more. There's now fresh asphalt, safety and beauty upgrades to what's known as the nation's first modern parkway. And 4 years later, the northbound GW Parkway between Spout Run and the Beltway has gone from sinkholes, rough pavement, and a tangled web of construction to open road. A ribbon cut on the project today.
Now look, if you drove the GW Parkway during the construction here, you know it was no fun. Lots of twists and turns, a lot to pay attention to. Smooth pavement out there right now. And this is the busiest section of the GW Parkway. Over 70,000 vehicles a day.
Well, it's great, of course. We all love driving on the renovated road. It was quite a mess before.
Larry Good says he often drives his 1951 Pontiac along the parkway and hopes the road doesn't fall into disrepair again. This is the first major renovation of the road since it was originally completed in the 1960s.
Let's not wait 65 years, but give it reasonable maintenance.
Elected officials on hand to talk about the road before and after construction.
The repair work was holy heck. I mean, going through these narrow lanes, I hope just like if anybody's done a home remodeling, you go through the really crappy part and you forget it once the house is new.
And Virginia Congressman Don Beyer says with a smooth road, speed cameras should now be installed as well.
I still do think so, yeah. I don't know what the speed limit is on the north side. On the south side, the average speed is almost 60 miles per hour, despite a 40 mile per hour. We think it's all the people from Maryland.
Hey, the congressman said it, not me. Everyone, though, should have a better ride, and yes, watch your speed. Along the renovated GW Parkway, Adam Tuss, News 4.
As someone from Maryland, that conversation will not end there. The $167 million project was federally funded by the Great American Outdoors Act, which addresses maintenance needs on public lands. All right, much more to come tonight on the News 4 Rundown, including if today's cooler temperatures will stick around.
Yeah, we saw a lot of cloud cover across the area today and temperatures that were only in the 70s. Tomorrow, we've got even more clouds and our chances for showers start to increase later this week. We'll talk about that and some intense heat moving our way, too. 10-day forecast coming up.
Millions know Zoe Colletti as the face of ZoeTube. Now she's using that massive YouTube following to talk about something many kids are too embarrassed to say out loud: living with a rare intestinal disease. News 4's Erica Gonzalez talked to Zoe about why no one facing it should feel alone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video.
She's the face of ZoeTube.
I'm an actor, and I also am a content creator and just all around creative gal.
Got it. Okay, with 11.5 million.
That too. Today, we are doing our most exciting challenge yet.
YouTube sensation Zoe Colletti is known for her vibrant, zany kid content on YouTube.
We are driving from the USA to Mexico for Taco Tuesday! I'm super passionate about putting stuff on the internet that is appropriate and the right thing for kids to be consuming.
Her videos range from challenges.
Do you have a perfect memory? Let's put it to the test.
To video game trials.
Okay guys, today we are playing Hello Kitty Horror.
And even food tastings.
Okay, first bite, we're going in.
But today, the 24-year-old is at Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C. for a different kind of video, explaining her rare disease to millions.
I have an intestinal disease called Hirschsprung's disease.
But she won't do it alone.
Hello!
Well, I guess you grew up.
She's reuniting with Dr. Mark Levitt, who performed her life-saving surgery more than 20 years ago.
I'm disappointed I didn't wear the same boots as Zoe today.
Levitt's wit and Zoe's pizzazz will be key in making what can be an awkward subject
Everybody poops.
into playful, educational content like only Zoe can.
He took care of me too when I was a baby, and that is why I'm here.
Hirschsprung's disease is an intestinal disease that affects just 1 in every 5,000 newborns worldwide.
Well, typically, and Zoe was a good example of that, a baby is born and everyone thinks everything's fine. And there's no concern until they appear to not empty their stools normally. Their abdomen gets distended. Many times they throw up. The colon is there, but doesn't have the proper nerves that allow it to empty. So essentially it's a traffic jam at the bottom of the colon.
From infants to adults, complications with Hirschsprung can lead to a life of potty talk.
You still have lingering issues and complications as a result of this?
Yeah, I definitely do. Like, some kids will have colostomy bags always, some kids have to get enemas. I kind of had switched up what I've done and what's worked for me throughout the years as I've been growing up. But I stay buying out all of the laxative at the CVS. It's awkward things to talk about. So if you can normalize it out there on the internet, then maybe it'll help to trickle down to make it a little easier for people that are just dealing with it.
We watched as the pair filmed content, the two of them talking about number 2, in hopes of helping others see that they're not alone, connecting with subscribers over an otherwise, well, you know, that kind of situation.
Talk about it, be yourself, and your people will find you. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Bam! I won't see you guys. This is the news.
Zoe addressed her condition once before on social media and says she was surprised when she lost 20,000 followers. But she says that only fueled her to talk about it on a larger platform. As for Dr. Levitt, he is the top surgeon to treat this rare disease. He first met Zoe all those years ago as a young surgeon in New Jersey and is now chief of the colorectal and pelvic reconstruction unit at Children's Hospital. He's treated children from all 50 states and 78 countries and has performed more than 15,000 pediatric colorectal procedures. Really nice day to start a Monday, right? But we know it's going to heat up, showing that June is indeed a summer month.
Yeah, exactly. Big time heat coming up later this week. But today, we didn't see that at all. As a matter of fact, temperatures today were about 15 degrees cooler than they were out there yesterday. Take a look at the high temperatures today. 79 D.C., 77 at Dulles. Warmer to the south and west. Temperatures here in the 80s. Why? Well, because we had sunshine in these areas where most of us were dealing with cloud cover all day long. Once again, yesterday, 93 degrees. We saw 90, so today, much cooler, and it felt pretty good out there too. There's the clouds. We've seen them all day there as well, all across our area. Current temperature sitting at 75 degrees. Dew points 58. Not much in the way of wind, but it is an easterly component. Winds out of the east-southeast at 7 miles per hour. Current temperatures now in the low 70s to the north, mid 70s for everybody else. So a very nice night across our region. No issues as we make our way through. We're not going to see any rain chances, but we have had the clouds all day. Here are those clouds. Look at the clouds continuing right along the I-95 corridor. Back to the west, a lot more cloud cover. That easterly flow that brought us the clouds and the cooler weather will start to give way to more of a southerly wind. That's going to help temperatures to rise, also help our humidity over the next few days. And look at all the clouds, a very unsettled weather pattern between Minneapolis and down towards Jacksonville. A lot of clouds. Those clouds will continue to work their way our way as well. So as we move on through the night tonight into early tomorrow morning, you see the clouds, temperatures in the low 60s. This is around 8 a.m., but not bad. As we move on through the day, more clouds, but not too bad, and we're not expecting any rain chances. High temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm actually going 84 for a high tomorrow, thinking we might get a little sunshine. Then on Wednesday, tracking a chance for some showers, especially early in the day, and then during the afternoon, well, we'll stay with the cloud cover for the most part. I'm thinking temperatures are going to be a little warmer than this. This computer model, I think, a little too cool. Also has a little too much rain on it. We're only going with a 30, maybe 40% chance of rain on Wednesday, going 89. Might have to bring that down if we do see more cloud cover and showers. But then look at Thursday and Friday. 95 degrees both days and humid. We're going to see a heat index over 100 degrees both Thursday and Friday, or at least close to it. Those storms on Friday bring in some slightly cooler and much less humid air for the weekend. Right now, both Saturday and Sunday have temperatures near 90.
There is a ton of conversation about social media, screen time, and mental health. Studies show that social media is driving a youth mental health crisis. Other experts say screen time itself is not harmful. To get more context on the research, psychiatrist Dr. Joshua Weiner joins us with what the science actually says. Thanks for joining us. This is a huge topic for so many people, not only parents, but society. What are top researchers actually concluding about social media and teen mental health?
So it really just depends on the study that you look at. So there have been really two big studies that I think people are referring to. One was done by the American Psychological Association about a year ago, and that just asked this general question: how much time do you spend on social media to teenagers? And then they tried to see whether there was any sort of correlation between the amount of time and increased rates of depression and anxiety. And what they found actually was that there really wasn't a very strong correlation. However, there was a more recent study that came out in JAMA, Journal of the American Medical Association, that found when you ask more specific questions about the way kids were using social media, that's what then showed that there was more of a negative correlation between social media use and mental health. And so it really depends on the questions that you're asking. So when they were looking at this JAMA study, what they were saying is, what type of use are you doing? Are you just mindlessly doom scrolling? Are you doing this alone? Or are you socializing when you're doing the social media? Is this social media use getting in the way of your sleep, etc.? So there are numerous things that were looked at. I believe that in general, the majority of the studies are showing that social media use has a negative impact on mental health. But I do think it's important to note that that correlation might not be as strong as some people think.
And we know we have to monitor our kids, the content, as you're saying, in social media and what they're using it for, because it can be harmful. What's the scientific evidence behind this, Dr. Weiner?
Well, so it boils down to the way they're using it. Also the kids, right? So if you have a child or a teenager who's doing well in life, they're feeling good, and they tend to be on a lot of social media, that's going to be a little different than somebody who's already starting out with a little bit of depression or anxiety. Those are more vulnerable kids. They're going to have a tougher time with it. So a few things to highlight. One is going to be, if you're using social media and it's getting in the way of your sleep, we know how important sleep is. That's going to be a negative factor. If you're a victim of cyberbullying, not good. If you're going on social media and all you're doing is constantly doing social comparisons and feeling bad about yourself, we know that that's going to be a horrible thing for you. So again, it really boils down to the way you're using it.
And we know there's been also debate about whether these negative effects about social media have been blown out of proportion. It's too much. Can you give us some insight into the realities here?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a well-known book called The Anxious Generation. This was by an NYU professor, Jonathan Haidt, and he sort of attributes a lot of the problems that we're seeing with today's young people with anxiety and depression to social media. You have some other top researchers who say, well, maybe that's a little bit overblown. You know, my personal view and what I've seen in my experience is that there is a negative effect. I think there's going to be some people where it really has an intensely negative effect, others where it's a little less negative. But look, I think all you have to do is have some common sense when it comes to this stuff, right? I mean, if you just spend hours a day and you're doom scrolling, we all know how that feels when we do it. It doesn't feel good. We all know that it's better to be engaged with other people, to be socializing with people, ideally in person, getting outside, exercising, moving your body. It's just common sense in many ways.
Yep. Important information for parents out there. And it's a tough situation, as you said. Thanks so much, Dr. Joshua Weiner.
My pleasure.
Finally tonight, a spectacular view of the southern aurora from space. Look at that. This time-lapse video was shot by NASA astronaut Jessica Meir from the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft. She wrote on social media the aurora was caused by a recent solar event, but she says this one was unlike others she has seen. She described it, saying it danced and snaked its way below them, putting on quite a show. What a view that is, and so incredible that she can share it with us. That is going to do it for the News 4 Rundown for this Monday night. Be sure to join us again tonight for News 4 at 11. For now, I'm Eun Yang. Have a great night, everyone.